So I think you have a really good point about this is not for everybody. And there's two things that I think that you brought up that are worth talking about a little bit. One, there's a difference between being an active, building assets, and being passive, where you're putting your money into something and you're not. The EQRP is meant for money that's going to be passively invested. It's not for you to have an active business with. So what I always say to people is this is a great part of your life because you can create a tax-free pile. And the way you do that is with the Roth EQRP, where this money grows tax-free and then you get to spend it tax-free. And not even real estate gets you there, because with real estate, you have to constantly stay in real estate. The moment you exit real estate, because you actually want to spend all your money, if that's the case, there is a tax event. So I like EQRP as part of people's portfolio, especially the Roth and primarily the Roth, because it gives you that power. And here's the thing that we've noticed. Most of the people that are EQRP members, they come in with $100,000. So similar to what you did. And what they're doing is they're using this tool to grow, to not just grow their money, but growing themselves. And when you're starting off, I totally love the idea of cash flow, but people, from my perspective, they chase cash flow too soon and they don't have enough capital to build the cash flow passively. And my contention is if you pour energy into something and it forces your capital to grow, whether it's building a business or building a house or doing something, then you're more likely to get to a place where you've built capital and then you convert it into cash flow. I did the whole thing. I had no money. 25 years ago, I started buying houses on credit cards. I had no capital. And it was a really hard thing to do. I made $200 a month. Yay. Okay. Now I've got 10 houses and I make $2,000 a month until a roof gets damaged. And then I have no capital and I have a $4,000 problem. So there's a really big value around creating capital. It's harder to create large amounts of capital than it is to create $200 a month in cash flow. And it's also sounding very sexy. Mailbox money, make everybody happy. But the reality is, I believe that there's two phases. It's capital growth and then cash flow. You can kind of do some of them together, but the biggest problem is people go in trying to create cash flow and they have no capital, and it puts way too much stress in the system, and you're willing to do things and then you get caught and you have nothing to backstop. And so I think that's my perspective. People should be primarily building capital while they're growing themselves, and then can start converting that into cash flow along the way versus going right into cash flow and saying, I got $5,000 a month in passive. I got no money in the bank and I'm free. No, you're not. Wait until the roof blows off. Wait until one thing happens. And you're like, oh crap. So that's what I've seen over the years in my experience.